So much for staying with us. Now to our interview with the guest of the day. I'm joined by the former aide to the former Vice President, Michael Achimugu, for discussion on matters arising in President Tinubu versus Atiku saga. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much and good evening.
Good evening to you. So, this evening we're taking another look at this issue. And as a former aide to the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, what can you say about his unrelenting desire to be president of Nigeria?
Well, with all due respect, I think that my former principal has what I would call a roundabout personality, where someone always begins from point A and, flatters to deceive and then circles back to where they began from. It's a roundabout kind of thing. So I call it a roundabout personality disorder. For over 3 decades now, this has been going on. I would like to tell a story here that I have never told anywhere before, that illustrates the extent of this desperation and makes me wonder why people do not see and understand, the depth of it. Back in the day, when the Abacha junta was after Atiku's life and he went into exile, Abacha, the same General Abacha, invited Atiku Abubakar to come back to Nigeria to support his presidential ambition, Abacha's ambition, and promised him in return that he will seize the UNCP gubernatorial ticket from the candidate who already had that ticket and who was busy campaigning to be governor in Adamawa State. And he promised Atiku, I will give you that ticket by force, and then you can be governor and support my ambition for president. Let me shock you. He accepted that offer and he came back to Nigeria. Anybody familiar with the politics of Adamawa State can recall this incident. It was just weeks to the election. He came back and took the ticket from the rightful owner of that ticket. Unfortunately, as fate would have it, Abacha died, and then that dispensation, was over and done with. For over 3 decades, Atiku Abubakar has bestrode our political arena like a colossus, but has never really shown Nigerians what it is exactly that makes him this desperate. If anything, his recent utterances at the press conference that he gave has even further indicted him. Just like during the SPV saga earlier in the year, Atiku used his mouth, by his own words, told the world that he tampered with the elections in Lagos and the entire Southwest. I don't know why people are not talking about this. Because we always, tend to major in the minors. But how did anybody miss this? That he said that he influenced his boss, the then President Olusegun Obasanjo, that they should leave Lagos for Bola Ahmed Tinubu while capturing the entire Southwest. How do you achieve that if not by taking control and seizing, the entire electoral process? That is abuse of power. And the thing about, Atiku's issues is that it's always right in your face, but most times, if you are not attentive, you would not really take note of it. It's a kind of, the more you look, the less you see situation. Anybody has a right to stand against Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president of Nigeria. It's a constitutional right. But my stand has always been that you cannot say, I do not like Nigeria's president because of corruption or forgery or any other reason that you may have, and then support Atiku Abubakar. It means that you do not hate corruption in itself. You are only looking for the kind of corruption that favors you. So for the group of persons who recently did a turnabout and began to support Atiku because they think that his present actions, aligns with their interests, I think that the case is having sat down to reason it out and say, at all, na im bad pass.
All right.
If this person won't get it, then better for us, Atiku, than anything else. And that's what's going on.
All right. So you were quoted to have said Atiku has no moral grounds to question President Tinubu. Can you explain what you meant by this?
Okay. He who must come to equity must come with clean hands, they say. I remember it was Peter Obi, the Labour Party candidate, who said that, if for one to bear his excellency, then the process must be excellent, right? Good, fine statement. But here's the thing. Is Atiku Abubakar an excellent process? How can someone with his kind of antecedent be seen to have the moral standing, justification of any kind to come against anybody with allegations of forgery, of corruption, and and all of that? If you're talking about the issues in the US, for instance, they say that Bola Ahmed Tinubu had his bank account flagged in the US. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar also had his US account flagged. Why is that a non-issue now suddenly? Why are people choosing to help Atiku deflect attention from his own end? There is nothing that has happened. The FBI files on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that people are requesting for, do those people forget that Atiku also has files with the FBI? Why are they not requesting for the Atiku FBI files if their purpose, their aim is altruistic, and if it is about eliminating corruption, according to them? You see the hypocrisy, I can perceive it from here, and the stench is just too much to bear. I keep hearing every day how the president's children bought houses in the US at some point and all of that. Didn't everybody hear on tape Atiku's daughter confessing to having stolen money from Bank PHB along with Francis Atuche? Where's Atuche today? He's in Kuje prisons. Atiku's daughter still walks free. And so, because you believe that there are issues with the person of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I should follow you in your support of somebody else who has these kinds of antecedents, then you are not being honest. You are merely deceiving Nigerians, and then you are fighting for your own interest and disguising it as love of the nation. Nobody has love for Nigeria and supports Atiku Abubakar. That's not possible.
All right. I mean, so you exposed the special purpose vehicle scandal, and I remember you were also here on Politics Tonight to share your part of the story with us. But not much is heard about it. What's happening regarding that?
Well, my duty was to let the people know, and I was very clear about this then. I admitted that I wouldn't have the power to push the matter further than, beyond merely exposing it and letting Nigerians know. It's why I admire the person, and I'm grateful as well to the person of Festus Keyamo, SAN, because he rose up to the occasion. He fought a good fight. I believe that case is still on appeal, with the appeal court. Why I heard at some point that the Code of Conduct Bureau was going to investigate the matter, but I'm also aware that Atiku, through his lawyers, also wrote, to the Code of Conduct saying, they should not be investigated and that they were going to go to court if they were going to be investigated. I do not know where that process is at the moment, but I think that Nigerians should be asking, the relevant investigative agencies why that case has stalled. And it's also why I'm a little bit miffed, about what Atiku is doing and his supporters are doing at the moment, because they are successfully helping him to hide, and I think it's most unfair on the generality of the people who care about this country that you are helping someone, with this kind of antecedent to escape under the radar. The truth has been exposed. Why do people want to not be objective about these things. If you are altruistic about, your so-called love for Nigeria, your political pursuit, you want a better Nigeria, then I think that Nigerians should still be the ones demanding, for Atiku to be investigated. Because let's not forget, I never came out to make allegations against him. I did not say Atiku did this or did that. I merely put out what he himself said. Just like he recently confessed to Nigeria that he rigged elections in the Southwest in 2003, it's the same way he confessed to the SPV thing by himself. I am still not making any allegations against him. I'm merely, highlighting the things that he himself has confessed to. So I'll leave that question for the relevant agencies to answer.